There ain't nothing Americans love more than a story with a little bit of love and a whole lot of violence. Meet Bonnie and Clyde, an American couple who was on the run for years because they loved three things: each other, robbing banks, and police. And it all started because Bonnie had a problem. She was bored. She said, "There ain't nothing to do in Texas." She's from Texas. One of her friends pops up and she says, "Hey, I know a dude named Clyde. I feel like you get along." She said, "Where you at?" Clyde slides in. He said, "What's good?" Bonnie said, Okay, not bad. What you do for work?" He said, "I'll be robbing and stealing." She said, "Okay, I can work with that." The two instantly hit it off, spark up a romance, until Clyde gets locked up because, well, he robbed and he steals. But then he escapes and he changes because of the injustices he faced by the American police and the criminal system. He begins to rob places at an insane rate to embarrass the police. Bonnie said, "Clyde, you need to slow down." Psych, stupid, she was right there with him. I had to cover up this picture because she holding a strap. They get a crew together, they robbing until one day they go to a party. They hanging out doing their thing. Some police officers pull up. They say, hey, ain't that dude Clyde? The other officer said, "That is indeed him. Let's go pull up." They said, "Clyde." Clyde said, "Boom, popped him. Boom, popped the other one." One of the officers, and that's when Clyde gets his first taste of being an officer, and he never goes back. Now, when Bonnie, Clyde, and their crew rob places, if they see an officer, it's on sight. And here's where things start to get wicked. During their months on the run, they're in many shootouts with the police, and Clyde is smoking them left and right. Because at one point, him and his gang robbed the National Guard, and they had military-grade weapons. During one of these shootouts, the police find Clyde and Bonnie's camera. They check it out, and they see them posing. The whole gang posing, striking poses. The police send this picture of Bonnie to the newspaper saying, "All right, tell everybody to watch out for them." This picture goes the 1930s equivalent of viral, and everybody starts saying, "Who Bonnie, who Clyde, who Bonnie, who Clyde." But then people find out how many people and at that point it was about 9, like 7 being officers. People said, "Ooh, officer, get them." The police said, "No, that boy know how to shoot though." People said, "Y'all scared?" The police said, "No, ain't nobody scared. We already got some of the members of their gang. They right over." Oh, they gone. Cause see, at one point, Clyde decided to break into prisons and break out everybody who worked with him just to embarrass the police. And it worked. So the American government said, "Screw that, we sending in the National Guard." They send in the National Guard. Bonnie, Clyde robbed the National Guard and outsmart them. Get away. The American government said, "Police, y'all on your own." The police, the governor of Texas said, "I bet." So they hire a dude named Frank Hammer, a terrifying Texas Ranger who is credited with over 50 criminals. He gets a group together. He said, "Where Bonnie and Clyde at?" They said, "That's your job to find out." He said, "That was a rhetorical question, stupid." "All right, gang, let's go." They roll out. They track Bonnie and Clyde for months. And at this point, most members of the gang were injured, or Bonnie and Clyde were pretty injured as well. Someone from Bonnie and Clyde's gang betrays them by telling the officers where they were going to be. That same member posted up outside of where he knows Bonnie and Clyde are about to drive past. Clyde is driving super fast because he doesn't want to get stopped by the police or anything. He sees that member of his gang. He slows down to see what's up. Boom! Frank Hammer and his posse jump out and unload at Bonnie and Clyde's car. And when the officers go in to collect their reward, which was supposed to be $26,000 each, they get $200. They get betrayed by the very system they were trying to protect. They said, "Ain't this about it?" The government said, "What you gonna do, call the police?" Here, 200. Bonnie and Clyde then go down in history as one of the most famous outlaw couples of all time. And if you were curious, in total, they 12 people, 9 of them being officers.